Vancouver, Seattle, San Francisco. I'm coming to you February 16th through 18th. Get your tickets now at ChristinaPOnline.com.
That I'm going to miss the Booth Boys and you guys and
Yes.
seeing you on a regular basis, but I have no doubt we'll see you again soon.
So I asked the flight attendant, do we have a female pilot here?
You asked for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. I'm like, why?
What about these
Betas.
A beta.
what about these
What a beta.
Welcome to your mom's house.
This episode is sponsored by Sattva. Go to sattva.com/theshit for $200 off your next purchase.
Happy New Year.
Can you still say that? I feel
still
like
say
we're
it.
deep in it already.
You can still say it. It's January.
You can still say it. You
But
can
I
feel
haven't
it.
seen some of them since last year. So it's still Happy New Year.
That's true. I'm still in fucking shell shock from being in the house with the boys, the four of us for the last 3 days.
I know. Jesus Christ.
PTSD. Why is it like you only have like 2 nice minutes with children and then they either fight or they scream in your ear or they do something horrible?
And it always is like you wake
God.
up and you're like, I'm going to go say hi to my sons. I'm like, hey, boys. And they're like, what are you doing here? Get out. And I'm like, okay.
Okay. I know. I feel like I wake up every morning with a renewed
like,
sense of
you walk in
possibility.
and you're like, and they're like, and you're like, oh, fuck. How are you starting the day crying?
Always tears or they're hitting each other.
He bit me.
He bit me. And then I don't even think they're going to learn to read because they can't sit still. So like I had all these visions of me teaching our sons everything I know, but I
Yeah.
don't even think you can. They can't sit still.
No, that'd be cool. They'll learn other ways. You know?
What can we teach them? They won't sit fucking still. Shit.
I don't know.
Oh,
don't
man, it's futile. Anyway, I'm pumped to be here
It's
and
so
like
great.
away from my kids for the first time in days, bro.
Yeah. Yep. Hopefully they're getting by. You know, they're on their own.
They're at home alone.
There's food in the fridge. They'll figure it out. No, but it's been. I just got back from Asia.
Yeah.
And it was a fucking awesomest. I mean, I just can't tell you how great.
Hold
that
on,
place
let
is.
me tell you how happy I am for you.
Yeah. Yep, you're,
I was here with the kids in winter in the
you're
house.
a typical woman, but I was.
I'm so happy for you.
I have to tell you that, man, I always wanted to go to Tokyo,
Same.
and they are the fucking best people.
They're like the best. They're the best, right?
They really are,
I know,
man.
I love the
They really
Japanese.
are. And then in Hong Kong, you're like, oh, okay, we're losing this battle. These motherfuckers are advanced. We're fucking
doomed.
dumb.
Speak Chinese, bro.
You better learn Mandarin right fucking now,
Dude.
because you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So great too, because in Japan, it's exactly what you imagine the Japanese are like. They're so polite and they're so, just kind, and everything is like, excuse me, and everything's with a smile. Like the construction worker. So when there's a construction job, we have it here too. There's a guy whose job it is. He wears a vest and he's like, hey, stay off this sidewalk, go around. But he'll be like, go over there,
Yeah.
Come on, what the fuck are you doing?
Rude.
Right? In Japan, the guy he nods and smiles and is like, shows you the way to go.
He's
You're
like,
oh, that's
I'm sorry to even bother you.
yeah, I'm sorry to bother you.
Jeez.
And then you get that for whatever, the few days we were there, everywhere someone is just like, excuse me, or I'm sorry, or thank you. And everyone's super polite. Everybody's so nice. And then you get to Hong Kong and they're like, I don't give a fuck about you, bro. Like they immediately are straight up.
Squatting on
They're
the
like,
streets and spitting in
fuck
alleyways.
outta here, man.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck. You
But such a
disappear.
vibrant city. I mean, the energy of Hong Kong it's like in New York dialed up. It's way dialed up. The food.
Stop. Don't even tell me about the dim sum I missed out on. You know,
Well, here's
I love
the thing.
The
The dim sum was awesome, but of my meals, I had
yeah.
nothing but great meals in Tokyo, in Hong Kong, and in Singapore. Singapore was lovely. We went to a 3-star Michelin in Singapore called Zen.
Yeah.
One of the
A
culinary
succulent
experiences
Singaporean meal?
of my life. Like absolutely outrageous. In Hong Kong, the thing that really stood out to me, we went to a place called New Punjab Club, which is an Indian place. just spectacular. And then Tokyo, if you have a fucking tomato in a salad in Tokyo, you're like, I think it's one of the best tomatoes I've ever had in my life. Everything was like that. Every little thing you had was the best version of that thing. And it was just incredible. We went to a great teppanyaki place. We had a wakase. And then we went to Wagyu Mafia, which was
I saw
such
it,
a highlight.
but I saw it on your fun blog.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I did a fun vlog because I like to let people know, what a typical day in the life of a guy like me is. So I put it together a little vlog.
I loved your wasabi challenge. You were like, it's really spicy. And you did that stupid thing that they all do. It's really hot.
And people would go, wink at me one more time. There were so many. I never got so much hate. There was so much hate. The best part was that the audience that follows this show totally gets that thing. But there was a lot of people who are watching that and they were like, the fuck is wrong with this guy? And like, what is this doing?
A total personality change.
Yeah, and that actually made, I don't think I laughed harder than, I think we uploaded it and then, I was traveling and I landed in the next country and I opened that thing and there's 7,000 comments on it and I was like, oh my God. And I laughed. So, I mean, people were saying things like sending buckets of hate. Truckfuls of hate from California.
Australia.
Yeah, just
I love
so
it.
much.
Don't believe the positive comments.
Yeah, keep your chins up.
Keep your chins
Yeah, it's
So
that's
funny.
one of the hardest I've ever laughed.
That was really cool. I honestly, look, I really was resentful and hating you while you were having fun when I was alone with our children for 10 days. But then I saw that vlog and it almost erased all of it because I like, this might be worth the 10-day absence.
Yeah.
Because the vlog was so fantastic.
It was great.
It's on your Instagram.
And it's on TikTok. Yeah. Well,
really
look, we
funny.
have such a loaded show.
Wow.
Why don't we just open this real quick? Just get started.
Come on, fuck with me.
Don't hit me.
Huh? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Huh? Put it on tape? Surfer against a queer? Huh? Is that what you're gonna do? Tough guy? You wanna be a tough
Call the
guy?
cops.
You're not so tough right now, are
Call
you?
the cops.
You're not so tough, are you, small guy? You're a short
I'm following the
little
law.
guy.
You're not following the law.
You're a tiny little man. Think you're
Vehicle
a big
code.
shot.
Vehicle
You're a
code.
big shot.
21760.
Think you're really hot. Huh?
21760.
Oh, I
3
could
feet.
smack you so fucking good.
This shit is big time.
Is that, am I laughing?
Don't
or-
bring anyone love into this.
Yo, mom in the fucking stand.
Welcome to your mom's house with Tom Segura. And
Christina Pajitsi.
welcome to your mom's house.
Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Cha-cha.
If there wasn't any witnesses, you know what I'd do to you? I'd pull Trump on you.
What's your name?
Huh? My name is your worst enemy, motherfucker.
No.
My name is your worst enemy. You want to? I'm your Huckleberry, buddy.
Oh,
I'm
that's a
your
good line.
Huckleberry. You short little fucking punk. Huh? You come through this town thinking you're fucking really cool on your bike, like you own this lane. Look, at the bike lane is on this
It's
side.
called share
It's
row.
not in the middle of the street,
Share
buddy.
row. I get share row. I get
But
that
you
entire
came
lane.
around me like this.
Because you
came
blocked my
around.
way.
I
You
didn't
blocked
block
my
your way.
way.
I honked my horn because you were way over in our lane.
No, that's my lane.
Dude.
It's fun.
I feel like I get his rage though.
I understand, and I very much empathize with the hatred of a cyclist. I think it's a
Yeah.
fun thing that the universe kind of, we all rejoice in it. But it's
Because the cyclist's delusion that they can share the road with cars that weigh tons and can murder them.
Yeah,
it's just not
they're
cool.
just. Here's the thing, also,
Guys, it's
because
dangerous.
I actually, I think it's cool that you ride your bike, and I think it's it's obviously it's healthy.
Mama,
and it's
ride your bike.
Yeah, it's environmentally friendly. I get that. It's good
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, blah,
The
blah,
thing that and the cyclists will always be like, we deserve the protection and the saving. You're like, yeah, you know, you should have your lane. But none of these motherfuckers obey the rules of the road. None of them. I drive and I see them. They all run. They're supposed to like do the same thing that cars do. They run through lights. They run through signs. They don't do any of the shit you're supposed to do. Then they get mad. Now this guy's out of his mind. The guy confronting him, and you can tell that his voice is shake. He wants to go way crazier.
He wants to call him an FA.
And guess what?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I know that's what he wants to do.
No, it's not
Cheryl. It's Cheryl. Look at the law. Look at the law.
Watching you. You're lucky today,
Look at the
buddy.
law.
You're lucky today.
What's your name?
Huh? My name is your worst enemy. You fucking short little fucking faggot.
Yes, that's what I was waiting for.
He was,
I'm just looking at you. I'm not
all this was leading up to that word.
Because you're afraid, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're a pussy. That's why. Think you're a tough guy on your fucking stupid little bike, but you're a short little fucking pussy.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't want to fuck with a guy like me, a surfer that lives in this fucking town. Puts up with your fucking shit all the time.
True.
Right?
I've never heard somebody be like, you don't want to fuck with a surfer.
Well, I didn't think surfers were tough either.
Well, there's like the protectors of the beat, like the watchmen, you know what I mean? Like the enforcers.
I've seen Point Break.
Yeah, there's enforcers, like, and there's some really gnarly ones in Hawaii. There's
I bet.
There's dudes down there who, like, if you are just coming to town and think you're just gonna take, come into that beach and surf wherever you want, there's dudes that'll fuck you up there.
That's true, the locals.
But this guy doesn't seem like that guy.
I don't. He doesn't look like he's surfed in about 20 years.
Yeah,
the physique on him.
He has a fucking. He looks like he has triplets in him. Like he's. That's not happening.
Pussy. That's
Look
why.
at his.
Puts up with your shit all the time, like you
Look, he
own
walks
this
away
fucking
here.
like you own the road.
Yeah.
You don't own the
You
road.
own the
buddy.
road?
Yeah.
I don't own the road, but you're the one that fucking got me in the way.
See that sign right there? That's Shero. See that? See that? Shero. Shero. See that symbol right there?
Look at that hooshy right there.
He's so fast.
R-U-A.
He's like, you don't want to fuck with this surfer. It's like, when did you last see the beach?
Bitch, he ain't surfed since the 70s.
See this? This means you're a fucking dead man walking. You come onto my fucking land.
My land?
You're a fucking dead man.
And then I'm Your Huckleberry. What movie is that from?
I don't
That's
know.
an old reference.
Tombstone.
I'm Your Huckleberry.
I'm Your Huckleberry?
Yeah, that's from a movie. And, it's just, and I feel bad for El Cholo restaurant because it's right behind. And they're such a good place.
They are.
No hate or
I
shame
just
to El
gotta
Cholo.
say, I mean, I don't know. I love starting the day with confrontation.
You
know?
do. You love. And may I tell the audience what I know about you?
Sure.
So I have my morning routine, which I've discussed on this show.
Yeah.
Your morning routine consists of you open your little baby bird eyes.
Yeah.
You touch me to make sure I'm awake, which is exceedingly rude because sometimes I'm not. And you just presume that because you're awake, I'm awake, which is so fucking weird. That's what toddlers do too, by the way.
Yeah.
You open your eyes, you reach for your iPhone, and then it ramps up. Starts with a little fight, confrontation, like you like to watch videos. Yeah, I'm saying that. And then it eventually ramps up to, go down like that. And I'm like, oh, there's black people fighting. I know Tom's in a good place. It's always the same.
It's actually, I'll tell you this, it's a lot more like workplace accidents and car accidents, trucks backing up over people, forklifts, decapitating people, things like that. That's what you open with. No, it's kind of like, usually it's like the dessert of the whole thing, There's I get a lot of China accidents, and I get a lot of violence from Brazil. I get a lot of
hate for Brazil,
robberies, shootings from Brazil. Yeah. It's
wow.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, what you fill your head with before you go to bed is usually murder, crime.
Yeah.
So serial killers, and then you wake up and then it's a steady diet of confrontation,
True.
Workplace injuries and murders. And then the other day you and I were play fighting.
Yeah.
Like just in the bathroom. Remember that when we were play fighting? Yeah, you were just like you were kind of.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, we haven't done that in a while. And you just grabbed my throat a little bit, like to fuck with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I haven't. We used to do it a lot more, I think, before we had children. But then there's so much violence in the house anyway. I feel like we don't need it.
Yeah.
But I was actually really startled because I realized like you're very strong. You're stronger than you've ever been, and I'm like, you could murder me so fast.
Yeah.
It's one twist of the wrist
Easy.
and then I'm dead.
It wouldn't be hard. Yeah. It wouldn't be hard.
But I don't like roughhousing with you at all.
Yeah.
Like I am terrified. And we used to do it a lot more.
Yeah.
I don't
there's
like it.
some more of that coming. But here's
I
the
don't
thing.
like it.
With all eyes on the prize, I've teamed up with DraftKings, an official partner of the NFL, to get you in on the action. Right now, new customers who bet just $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Yes, instantly. Download the DraftKings app now and sign up using our promo code MOM for your shot at the crown. Wondering what you can use your $200 in bonus bets for? Combine multiple bets together from the same game for a shot at an even bigger payout. If you're already signed up for DraftKings, you can get a no-sweat bet. Get a bonus bet back if your same game parlay, SGPX bet, doesn't hit. Max rewards limits apply. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code MOM and bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code MOM only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. So you remember the obviously the reason I made that video was because we had discovered this Caitlin, the coffee girl, right?
So, yes, yeah. Why does she evoke so much hatred? It's so benign.
She's just living her life.
Yeah.
Hate from Australia.
Tom's laugh kills me every time. This week has been super crazy, so if you guys did not see, we got featured on the Your Mom's House podcast by Tom Segura, where basically in the segment he was pointing out the absurdity of the troll comments I get here on Instagram, and yeah, it's pretty insane. And since then, his fans and his community have just come over and followed, supported my small business, and sent so many messages of encouragement, which seriously means the world. Hey, what's up? My name's Caitlin. I'm the girl you were featuring on your podcast. Nice to meet you virtually. I want to say thank you for the kind words that you did say and all the laughs, because yeah, your segment absolutely had me in stitches. I was crying laughing. You have a very contagious laugh. But my name's Caitlin. I'm a barista. I own a coffee company called Street Brew Coffee, and my goal is just to make content that spreads joy and makes people smile or laugh, so I guess we succeeded there. Tom, I would love to hook you up with some coffee, so let me know if I can do that. And hopefully one day soon, I'll get to brew you some coffee in person. But Tom, thank you to the Your Mom's House community. Thank you as well for all the love and support. And I'm going to keep changing the world with my positivity.
She's very sweet. She's
so
very
sweet.
sweet. And I have to say, I think actually the real thanks should be to like you guys for, I think you had a lot of fun with it. Yeah. Where you got to send your hate, but it had a wink of love, and I think it probably had a positive effect. So that's just really it's a thanks to you guys for being so sweet to her. And yeah, we should definitely try to link up with her. I think it'd be really fun. Yeah. Before we move on to something else, there's another. So the reason I even brought this up on the show is because I was scrolling and I had seen that, and I think the first thing I noticed was not even the content, but just seeing a little bit and then seeing the comment number. I was like, wow, that's a lot of comments, like when I first played her. And I found this other one, which is like also like totally innocent. It's this young girl who does like dad jokes. Mm-hmm. Like she does things like this, and it caught my eye again because the comments are outrageous, right?
I don't rise and shine. I caffeinate and hope.
They're just like,
yeah, it's just sweet.
She's sweet though.
Yeah,
and she's
cute. She little blonde girl.
She does videos like this all the time. They're all like this. They're all like bad dad jokes. Sure. And then she's like, and she's really like innocent.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's some comedians that make a really good living doing material very similar to this. There's a huge audience.
Do you want what the comments say under this?
Oh no, I don't want to know.
Awesome, blow up my foreskin like a balloon.
Oh, look, 5,512 likes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Very funny. Dip your feet in my drinking water.
Oh, my gosh. That's for the foot fetishist community.
Mm-hmm. Salute.
Yeah. 149 hearts.
Hilarious. Fist me with both hands.
That's cool. Yeah. I've never heard that before.
I mean, but this poor girl. Like,
I know.
She is not like this at all,
No.
Cool joke. Hold my hand while we ethnically cleanse the Balkans again.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. How much for one pint of your piss?
Shit.
I mean,
yikes.
It gets really.
Yeah, poor girl. Shouldn't need that.
No. I'm gay. Can you put your dad on?
Okay. Well, it's her dad's attractive.
Please lay your feet on my face after a hot, sweaty run while you say things to me I haven't ever heard, but it's from you, so it's a pleasure to my ears. Music 5'4" short king. Okay. I mean, it's very specific.
Yeah. The foot community, she must be putting her feet out there.
No, she's not. She's not putting anything out there. She's putting these jokes out there, and people are saying, lock me in your basement and like let me use your vaginal discharge to brush my teeth.
Oh
shit,
my God. Nobody deserves this.
You're so funny. Queef under my eyelids. 41,000 likes.
Jesus. Queef under my eyelids. Wow, that's creative.
She's really just a nice girl. I'd let you shit on my neck on a 45-degree incline and watch the slippery thing slide down my chest, leaving a trail.
Wow, that's specific too.
It's very
45
specific.
degree.
Yeah. Made me laugh. LOL, please shit on my chest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
This is what it feels like to be a female comic.
Is
Just
it?
So you know.
Yeah.
But to certain audiences.
She's such a sweetheart. I mean, like, the videos, do you have any more you could play just so I can give her an idea of, like...
I hope she's not reading these comments.
Oh, she knows of these comments. That's all her comments are.
Oh, dear. That's terrible.
Ha ha ha, please shit on my forehead.
That's funny.
Yeah. She doesn't deserve this.
No, nobody does. It's too sad. Dr. Analex said that. He's really into caca.
Yeah.
He named himself.
You look submissive and breedable.
Jesus. That's creepy.
That's just like...
It's the sexual stuff that really is not
Can I tell you why I think they do it to her? Because when you see more of these, she's such an innocent. Like she's an actual... She seems like a true innocent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's of adult age, but she's really wholesome. Like she's like...
So they're trying to unwholesome her.
Yeah, I mean, they're all like just...
My dogs are named Timex and Rolex. They're my watchdogs.
Come on. Like...
Yeah, I know.
You don't have to go like, this is for me, but you also don't have to be like, I'm finna suck the polish off them nails.
Yeah, or shit on my forehead, under my eyelids.
These comments are awful and disgusting. Piss in my eyes.
Jeez, they're really...
Yeah, like, the first one, the snow one, you know, like she did this. I saw this one the other day. She goes,
every day I'm shoveling.
I mean, it's...
I got it.
This is an innocent girl, right?
Yeah, she's sweet.
Hey, every day I'm shoveling. I'm thirsty. Pee in my mouth to give me nutrients for the day.
Jesus Christ. This poor girl.
Like...
But it is kind of exciting that this is a whole new culture now of just comment culture.
Yeah, it is.
Now people are just going to find people to universally shit on, which is kind of interesting.
Please use me as your tampon so I can tear the blood
I don't
want to
read this.
teeth.
Poor girl. Ugh.
What's with all the degenerate comments? This white girl literally does nothing. Pee on my meals, fart in my eyes. What is wrong with people?
Fart in my eyes.
I saw one where it just said pee in my cereal.
God. You know, I feel like Your Mom's House is always on the leading edge of these things. I'm going to throw it out there that we started this with Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
And this is our culture that is now being co-opted. And yeah, we did this. This is our thing.
Right before we wrap here, I got to tell you this. So this poor girl, obviously we send you our love and our hate.
Yeah, sorry.
And sorry that people are asking you to pee in their cereal.
Oh, Jesus.
You remember that we flipped out when we first saw this man.
Ricky here is part of the Japanese mafia. He's flown down to Hong Kong just to make a suit for me. He saw all my videos and he wanted me to help him create his signature style. I'm going to go down on my knees because they make them very short in Japan. Come on in.
He's so out of his mind.
Dip into the back.
Right? So we played these videos for a while. If you guys remember, I was going to Hong Kong for the tour. He hit me up. Was like, you have to stop in. And I was with the group and I was like, we have to go. I went there and I got the full experience. I have a couple suits coming, a couple shirts.
Wow.
But he insisted that he do his thing to me.
Full treatment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the eagle has landed and nobody is as bald as Tom. Tom Segura.
Oh my God.
Finally here in Hong Kong.
Oh, Jesus
Christ. He signed his death wish by featuring me on his show. And now he's all mine. 2 buttons. He's an American. He can't even afford buttons. I've given him pens. No ... hand needle and thread peg stitching. Tack stitching for the tacky American. He got one sleeve, only one sleeve, because this is what your budget deficit does to you. Only one fucking sleeve, but I have him gift wrapped. Like everybody else, even the Americans, even the bald ones, even the famous ones, I have him absolutely gift wrapped in my 4D fit. Now, you know why Americans come to Hong Kong? Because they like Chinese massage.
It's making me uncomfortable.
Oh, God.
Chinese massage. Forget about Chris Rock. Tom Segura is the great white hope.
That's my hole.
And he likes Chinese massage. Tom, are you happy?
Great, this is good.
Are you happy?
Yes.
He spanked the shit out of me.
This is for Joe Biden.
Okay.
And there's another one for Joe Biden.
Okay.
And send that to Joe Biden as well.
Okay.
And whilst you're going over there, send that to Joe Biden too. Are you happy with me, Tom?
They're so good.
Thank you.
Jesus.
Fully molested. And here's what's so strange. This is what's so strange.
Yeah.
I can honestly tell you that he probably makes the best suits in the world.
Yeah.
They are fucking unbelievable.
Well, this is why he's fully insane.
And you go in there, his father is like such a respectable, polite, genuine, so like the polar opposite personality of him.
Sure.
So they're hilarious to watch in person because he's doing this, his father's in the background, and he's like, "What are you doing? Stop that!" And he provokes his dad. It reminds me of like me and my mom.
Yeah.
They're lit, like they have photos of everybody they suited and booted there. It's the last 6 U.S. presidents.
It's wild.
Not
Joe Biden.
Armani. Oh yeah, probably not Biden. But like every celebrity, huge soccer players, like everybody goes to San. I'll just say this: if you're gonna go to Hong Kong, you have to stop in. You have to stop in. Just even if you're like, I'm not in the, get a shirt. They make shirts, suits. They do they can do custom bombers. They do everything. But the best materials in the world, these are like generations of tailors, like his father,
his blood.
It's in his blood.
DNA.
They're amazing. So thank you for listening to me. And thank you for the new gear, Roshan. I'm very excited to get it. And another thing we want to chat about here real quick is that our dear friend and family member, really,
yes,
Dr. Drew, his show will no longer be coming out of YMH Studios, Dr. Drew After Dark, which was really like some people who maybe came along later don't actually know that just came from our actual just love of having him on the podcast. Like I remember the first time that he came on, we were like, man, I laughed so hard.
It's the best.
Because to have this like reputable, smart, thoughtful, logical, reasonable man who's a doctor, listen to our nonsense and comment on it, but like take it seriously. It was such a funny thing to do that I was like, man, we have to.
We had him have a hot take on whether or not farts push the shit out.
Yeah, he gave us a really thoughtful answer, and is like, where does cum come from, and all. Like, just he would be like, oh, but like it was so funny to watch him watch Cool Guys. We would have people make a to-do list. We had a to-Drew list where if something was really remarkable, we'd make sure to make note of it so that when he came on, we would remember to play it for him. Anyway, all that is to say that we ended up doing Dr. Drew After Dark, which was a joy. We did it in LA. We've done it here. And it just became a lot for him to, he flies out to Austin to bank shows and then fly back. And he's a very busy guy.
He still has a practice. He still sees patients.
He has a practice, and he's also like, he does media. He's doing appearances.
Tours.
Yeah, speaking engagements, endorsements. He's a very, very busy life. So anyway, we love the guy, and we're sad to see it end. But we want to jump on the phone with him right now and just say what's up, because it's been a minute. We actually just saw him.
We just ran into him in LA, actually. We were in the same hotel that they just happened to be in, he and his wife. So crazy. Mommy?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, the tip of my pee-pee is itchy. Hi, Dr. Drew.
Again?
Again.
Hi, Drew. We miss you.
I know. I miss you guys, too.
We were just reminiscing about how we first had you on the podcast, and we were like, this is so amazing to have like a thoughtful, smart guy entertain the stupid shit that we say. And then we would always so look forward to having you as a guest. And it eventually led to you, starting your podcast. that, we loved doing it and we love you obviously, but, we're sad to see it go, but understand like that you're a super busy guy. This isn't the most logical setup or easy setup, I should say.
It is a lot to come to Austin, to get on a plane and fly there every couple of weeks. But I just want to say that in terms of those early appearances, I feel so gratitude on so many levels. But one was I got to see where it all started. I was there.
Yeah, you were.
And to be in your garage, wherever that was. And so confusing to me. So confusing.
Yeah, we were just talking about how you gave us a really thoughtful explanation on whether it's farts that push the shit out or shits that push the farts out.
My first triumph. Triumph. And then my exposure to Robert Paul Champagne. Magic, and I fell in love. I had to go visit him in New York, which was another chapter I shall not forget. And listen, this whole thing was such a blessing and sort of unexpected. Who knew we were going to do that? And
I know.
Do it for years and years, and I just was such a gift. And I only regret I have is that I'm going to miss the Booth Boys and you guys and seeing you on a regular basis. But I have no doubt we'll see you again soon.
I hope so.
We weirdly ran into each other in Southern California.
Yeah, that was very recently. But also, I would love to have you come back at some point this year to be a guest on Your Mom's House. It would be so fun to have you on again.
Done and done.
Okay, great.
Count me in.
Great.
And again, I leave with the most positive feelings and gratitude, and it was such a great experience. And everything comes to an end. But 2024 is a bit much for me. I've got a bunch of television coming. One of my sons is getting married. It just was too much.
Yeah, so, I totally understand. And listen, we feel the same way. Nothing but gratitude, love, and appreciation for you. You're a wonderful talent, and you're an even better person. And I'm so thankful that I'm friends with you. I absolutely love you as a human being. And it was fun. I remember we were in New York together not long ago either. Just happened.
Oh my God, with Tim.
Yeah, we ended up having dinner, and that was so much fun.
And then, Christina, I'm still available to discuss your vomiting phobias and any other weird shit that comes along.
You got it.
To be fair, it all started with your preoccupation with what's going on in the head of comedians. So I'll just focus on yours from now on.
I love that. I can't wait. I'm going to text you all kinds of awful things.
Absolutely. And I want to show you my butthole when I see you next, Dr. Drew.
Oh, God, I can't wait. Is it wax?
It's no, it's full of hair, but hopefully we can work on it together.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Dr. Drew.
Oh, hey, wait.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing, if people wouldn't mind, check out, one of the other things that got busy this year is the streaming show I do. Susan would kill me if I didn't mention it. It's at drdrew.tv or drdrew.com. Please check that all out.
Definitely.
And I look forward to seeing some of the YMH faithful there and then back when I come to Austin to visit.
Oh,
you got it, man. Thank you so much, Drew.
All right. We love you, Drew.
We love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. He's the best.
He's the best. And can I tell you, for people, if you've never, I don't know why you would know this, but like some celebrities you meet and they're just such a disappointment in real life. Like Dr. Drew is legit a nice human being.
Yeah, he's a really good guy.
He's the real deal.
He's a really good guy.
He's so good.
Yep.
There's very few out there where you're like, oh yeah, you're a legit good human. So.
And now we shift to a black. When we come back, our guest will be Jesse Lee Peterson. And I can't wait to get into it. Welcome back. We are super excited to have today's guest joining us for the first time. Please put your hands together for Jesse Lee Peterson, everybody.
Oh, dude.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
This is a huge get. Thank you for coming in. I know it's super cold. It's not normally this cold here.
Black people don't like it. You guys don't have any blacks in this town, right?
Very few.
Yeah,
a few. There's one in there,
cold.
but he's pretty much.
You think he's white?
Yeah, you think so?
Did he say that to you?
No, if he live in a cold space, he has to think he's white.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And by the way, thank you guys for amazing hospitality.
Oh, good.
You treated us as though we were white.
That's how we try to treat all our guests. It's always been a life philosophy of mine. I go, treat your guests like they're white. That's
Absolutely.
what I've always, yes.
And it's like everything just fell in place. It's just everything.
Almost like you're,
not one problem.
Good. That's great.
Great.
Yeah. Very wide approach to things. So
that's why I like white people. They do it right.
You think so?
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah,
do you think that whites do it right?
I tremble. You know, there's a report that says that white people are becoming the minority in America. And I tremble at that idea because once whites are gone, America will be nothing but hell.
Really?
Because white people are more innovative and creative and they just want a first class life. So they get educated.
Do you think that's an innate quality of whites?
Yes.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
Because look what happens when the colored people take over. It turned into pure hell. You can't name one city, one state, one that's controlled by the blacks, and you want to go live there.
Right.
Atlanta's okay.
Can we?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
I thought I was going to live in Atlanta. I grew up in Alabama, so I used to go to
This is
Atlanta.
what I want. Yeah, and
I planned to, I was going to live in Atlanta once I finished high school, but I went to California the year before I finished high school, and I fell in love with L.A. So I moved to L.A., but had anything gone wrong, I had planned to move back to Atlanta, but the whites moved out and the blacks took over, and now...
No, you're
And then
like,
that was
there's a lot of black people.
hell.
There's a lot of black people in LA, though.
Right, but they don't. Those that are running. Look at Los Angeles. We now have a black female mayor.
Oof.
Karen Bass.
Jesus Christ.
That's a double hitter.
A mess.
Yeah.
Mess.
You got the double whammy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
what a mess.
What a mess.
But here's I think we were so curious because you're from Alabama.
That's what I want to get
Yes.
to. Your origin, right?
Yes.
So can we start there?
Yes.
Because you were born, like Christina said, in where in Alabama?
Down by Tuskegee.
Yeah, okay, Tuskegee. And you were born in
Eufaula area.
Weren't you born on a plantation?
I was born and raised on a plantation. I worked the plantation.
You worked the plantation.
And my parents worked it, their parents worked it, and their parents worked it until I left there.
So
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. So, but I would imagine that experience shapes your perspective a bit, right?
Absolutely.
So it would be common sense to then say that your grandparents and your great-grandparents were slaves.
Yes.
On that plantation.
I'm sure somewhere down, they never really talked about it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do know that my grandparents, my grandmother's father was killed. He used to run the plantation that I grew up on. And he was like a tough guy. He did his own thing. And so there was a black guy that was fired from another plantation, and my great-grandfather hired him. And the people from that plantation, the whites, came over and said, "You can't hire this guy." He's like, "No, I'm hiring him anyway. I'm doing what I want to do." And he hired him. So they came in the middle of the night to try to kill him, my great-grandfather. But he had a gun under the bed, so he ran them off. And then they came another night, and they were able to kill him because his wife, he went for his gun, and the wife moved the gun away from the bed, from underneath the bed. And they were like, "Well, why did you move the gun?" "Well, I didn't want him to do the wrong thing with the gun." I rest my case.
Women.
Broads.
Yeah. Fucking.
Fucking dipshits.
Every time you listen to the woman, you will suffer.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good
And
quote.
so they were able to kill him. But the one great thing about growing up on the plantation, we had family, we had grandparents. We were taught to work from day one. And they told us, the males, that when you turn 18, you're out of here. I remember them telling me that when I was 18. I mean, before I was 18, on a plantation now. I'm like, well, where am I going? And my grandparents said, "I don't know. I don't care. You're leaving here at 18. But they taught me to work. They taught me to be responsible for me. And so when I turned 18, I left. I finished
Is that
high
when you
school.
went to LA? Or
I
no?
went to Indiana. I got a job for 1 week. 2 weeks. I made a paycheck, and I moved to LA.
It's that long? Okay. So, but I mean,
hold on. Let's back up with life on the plantation.
Yeah.
What's life like for you? How old are you when you start working? Are they mean to you? Do they hurt you? I mean, I've seen the movies. I don't know. Is that what it's like?
No, it was amazing.
Amazing in a good way?
In a good way.
Working in the plantation was?
Yes.
I think that would be probably a big surprise for most people to hear.
And why? I know because they lie about the way things were, right? But when I was growing up on plantation, it was no different than going to work for the adults, and we would go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And because we lived on this farm, I would have to get up in the morning and go out to the pasture and bring the cow in, the cows, and milk the cows. And
So it's like farm life to you.
Yes. And then I would go back home and get ready to catch the school bus down the road at 7 a.m. The parents would get up and go to work.
How old are you when you're doing this?
When I started milking and taking care of about 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 14, 15.
So you're like high school
prior
age.
to that, I had been picking cotton because when we got out of school, we would go home and take off our school clothes and go to the fields and work the fields.
How old are you when you're picking cotton?
6, 7, 8.
Wow,
9,
that's very
10.
young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It wasn't like...
It was fun.
Right.
How many hours a day are you
because
picking
you got
cotton?
paid for it too.
Okay,
yeah, you got paid.
How long? So
as
you're
a
6 years
kid-
old. You come home from kindergarten, and then how long are you picking cotton for when you get home?
Until 4 or 5. I don't remember exact time, but we would, of course, go home at a reasonable time.
Yeah.
And get ready for school.
So is this because you're born in the 40s or
49?
49.
Yes.
So you're like, this is the late 50s. You're already working the fields.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, most people's perspective on Alabama in the 50s and 60s is not like a flattering one, you know?
But they're lying to you.
Really?
Yeah.
How was it?
For me, it was like a kid growing up. You know, I didn't have a negative impression. I went to school. I ran track, you know, in high school, so I would go to the track and field.
But you went to a segregated school, I'm assuming.
Right.
Yeah? And that didn't feel weird to you that you
Not
weren't allowed?
at all. Not at all, because, you know, I was with my friends. It was people. It wasn't like, and I knew that there were whites only schools and blacks only. I remember
You think segregation was good?
It was neither good nor bad. It was a way of life.
But is it good that it ended?
No.
No.
It would have ended on its own. It wasn't good that it was forced in it, because they're trying to make people love you. You can't make someone love you.
Right.
You know, you either a decent person. We were taught not to hate whites or anyone, right?
Yeah.
To treat everyone the way that we would like to be treated, and that was in my mind, and that's all we knew. And so we treated all people the way that we would like to be treated.
What if we had segregation?
Didn't have hatred.
What if we had segregation today?
We do have it.
Unofficially, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the blacks. They don't want to graduate with the whites. They don't want to live in the same dormitories as the whites. They don't want to live. If you move into their neighborhood, they call it something.
Gentrification?
Something like that, yeah. So you have it now because human beings hate one another.
Yeah.
And there's not the concept of loving, treating each other the way you would like to be treated.
So you
because during those days, those white people were not against, all white people were not against black people. It was more of a government thing, you know.
But did you ever encounter some pretty racist whites in that era? Like in the 50s in Alabama? There had to be a few, right?
If I wasn't aware of it.
Really?
It was happening, no. Because when I would go to downtown with my family sometimes, my grandfather used to put us on the back of a truck. He had this big truck, and he put all the grandkids and everyone in the truck, and we'd all go to town sometime. I wasn't treated bad. It was happening. I just was not aware of it. My friends were not aware of it. My cousins.
You're so young and
yeah. Even as a teenager, they integrated my high school the last year that I was there in 1968. But the teachers that came, the white teachers, they brought different things, you know, that we were not doing prior. It was just fun to do.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't, things didn't get bad for the blacks until they started that so-called civil rights movement. The worst thing.
Wait, why is it so called? Wait, why is it a so-called civil rights movement?
Because there is no such thing as civil rights. And the worst thing that ever happened to the blacks, other than abortion, was the civil rights movement.
That was the worst thing that happened to the blacks?
Why are there no? Let's back up. So why are there no civil rights? Let's start there.
Because those are just words. What does that even mean?
Well, I think what you said before, once the government, so when you have government instituted racism, that's not cool. So when the government stopped institutionalizing or making laws that
systemic
are racist,
racism,
systemic, blatant, let's say, that's better.
It's just
no?
making the idea that like you
by law can't drink in a fountain
black
or whatever.
man
It's crazy.
can't be discriminated against legally is like the goal
Some
of the civil
protection.
rights movement is some legal protections.
No, the goal of the civil rights movement
was
to control the blacks.
Mm.
Martin Luther King, Jesse Jackson, other people. They wanted to control the blacks for their own personal gain.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted wealth and power. And the way they did it, they made blacks think that, oh, you can't make it. The white man holding you back. Look at this. And so listen to us. And so especially in Montgomery, Alabama, and other areas, the blacks sold their souls over to the civil rights leaders. And they sold them to the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And if you notice, the blacks have gotten worse instead of getting better because they're no longer individual, free-thinking people. They're enslaved to their leaders. They're enslaved to the government. They now don't have fathers and mothers in their home because they have no sense of self-control. They don't even know what it means to be an individual thinker.
You think
thinker anymore? Not all, but most.
Most
They
black
have
people?
lost, right? Most black people.
Wow.
They have lost that sense of individuality and responsibility.
How do you think you remedy that? Like, what's the solution?
By being honest, not judging, not hating, not being angry at, but just tell them the truth. You're never going to be free until you become an individual again.
Mm-hmm.
What made America so amazing is that we were individual. We made our own decisions. No one had to tell us who to vote for. No one tell us, and like the so-called civil rights leaders, they told the blacks to vote for the Democrats.
Yeah.
Because they wanted power and wealth for themselves, and they were the leader of the blacks.
So how do you look at, like, let's say a Martin Luther King Jr.?
He was a socialist.
Mm-hmm.
He was a communist. He used blacks for his own personal gain.
Really?
Yes.
Mm.
He was a mess.
He was a mess.
It's a mess. Well, I always thought it was interesting when black people became Republicans, right? Because you were like, the Republican Party doesn't like black people historically, but then there are black Republicans, right? Like in Atlanta. So what do you think about that? Should they be Republicans then?
Originally, the Democratic Party didn't like the blacks. Blacks were not allowed to be a part of the Democratic Party, and that's why the Republican Party was formed. It was formed by blacks and whites. And that's why in the good old days when boys were boys and men were men, you had black Republican representative congressmen, men working this thing, right? And so it was the Democratic Party. But the so-called civil rights movement lied to the blacks and said it was the Republican Party. And so the blacks stopped thinking for themselves and they moved into the Democratic Party, and now they're being controlled.
What are we going to do about this?
What
are we going to do about these blacks, man?
The blacks.
What's wrong with the blacks?
Yeah.
Well, what would you want? Like, what would be your ideal scenario? Would it be essentially, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to like formulate what I think you would say. Would it be something to the extent of like black owned, black, like a kind of segregation, but not with the legal negative connotations of that, where a black community builds itself up?
First of all, there's no such thing as a black community.
No?
You have black skin, right?
Yeah.
So you're a black person as far as the color thing comes. And blacks need to become individuals again.
How do we do that, though?
Yeah, how do we do
By
this?
being honest with them. Stop catering to them.
How are you honest with them? What would you have to tell them?
To stop hating. They're very angry people now.
Blacks?
Yeah, the blacks are very angry. And they were not like that growing up. I didn't grow up an angry person. I was angry at my mother because she tried to turn me away from my father, but we'll get to that.
That's personal.
We have a black guy in the booth. Would you prefer that we cover him up so he's not visible?
So you're not what?
So he's not visible to you if it's like upsetting or distracting?
No.
Okay.
It's good to see him because
good,
I
yeah.
can tell he loved the white people. He loved all people.
He does love all people.
He loves all
does
people.
love all
He
people.
does.
He's not into
He's
the
a
black
very
thing.
he's very loving.
Right.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah.
That's right. But what I would say to the blacks is that they need to drop the anger so they can be more, they can see what's really going on. Because when you're angry, you cannot see clearly.
But how about angry whites? Because there's angry.
Same thing.
Just drop your anger.
Yeah, but we're talking about the blacks. But
Yeah.
the whites need to drop their anger too
Yeah.
so that they can overcome fear and be honest with the blacks.
What do we do?
Because the whites are not telling blacks the truth.
What's the truth? So what should we tell the blacks?
I'm not your problem. I never discriminated against you. I got my own life to live. I have to deal with my mess in my own life. I don't have time to be hating you. You are your own problem. As an individual, you need to take responsibility for your own life and stop hating.
The whites did hate the black people, though.
When?
Yeah.
I mean, pretty
historically,
openly,
it's been like.
Remember the whole separate drinking fountains and Plessy
slavery,
Ferguson?
and then the segregation era wasn't really good. Apartheid.
You can't find one black that was enslaved by the whites.
Well, not anymore. They're all dead.
And you can't find one black that was affected as a result of slavery.
What?
I don't know. That's a bold claim.
That is pretty bold.
Wait, how so? Walk us through.
You don't think there's a kind of a trickle-down effect from slavery that still permeates society?
No.
Really?
Not at all. They just made that lie up.
Who did?
In order to, the so-called leaders. They tell the blacks, oh, you can't make it because you're black. You can't make it because the white man's trying to hold you back.
Yeah.
But yet, the blacks who are and the liberal whites who are telling the blacks that, they're making buku money. They're living in amazing areas. Their kids are going to all kind of schools and getting jobs. But they tell the rest of the blacks, oh, you can't make it. Why not?
Yeah.
How come you're black and you can make it, but I'm black and I can't make it? What's the secret? They won't even tell them how to make it.
But
they
just
keep
to be
them angry to use them for personal gain.
Clear, though.
That's an interesting
You're saying...
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing.
That's an interesting take, and I'm trying to spin it this best case scenario that you're telling people to empower themselves.
Yes.
Regardless of history or color or whatever.
History was then. This is now.
But you're saying there's no ramifications from slavery.
Zero.
I don't know.
And guess what happened?
What?
So... My grandfather and grandmother had a lot of children, and they grew up on the plantation too. But when they became adults, they left, and some left, some stayed, and they went to Indiana, Florida, New York. You know what they did? They got jobs, they bought homes, they didn't get on the welfare, they didn't complain about white people, and they were black. And then their children are doing the same thing as their children. They are making it just fine because they have not been taught to be hateful, angry people and to blame someone else. Anyone that blames someone else for their situation as an adult, a weak, pathetic, no good people.
Well, I think we straightened out these blacks pretty well. What about these...
betas.
What about these...
what a beta!
What's going on with these...
men liberals are.
And let me just say this about the whites.
Yes.
The whites need to overcome anger so they can overcome fear as well, because anyone that has anger has fear.
True.
Right? And so the whites need to overcome anger so that they can love the blacks with real love to tell them the truth. I'm not your problem.
Yeah.
You need to start thinking and doing for yourself.
Sure.
It has nothing to do with slavery. My daddy, my mama had nothing to do with slavery.
Sure.
It's just an illusion. It's a lie. But the whites won't tell them that because they have anger, so they have fear, and they are afraid of losing something. They're afraid of being called racist. They're afraid of losing material things. And how can you love God and put material things and what people say about you and think about you before what is right?
Sure.
We're supposed to love one another. And love one another means don't judge one another. We're not going to always agree, but at least be honest so we can see what's going on with
Let me ask you,
with ourselves.
When you saw 12 Years a Slave, did you think there should have been more years? Was that one of your thoughts?
I even went further than that.
Yeah?
I'm going to buy me a plantation down in Alabama.
Yes.
And I'm going to put all the blacks back on the plantation.
This is wild, dude. This is crazy.
So that I could teach them about family.
Yep.
And about how to work hard and be individual.
Something tells
and
me
take care of themselves.
This will not be very well received as an idea.
only for the lazy blacks.
Okay.
They would not accept it.
Can I ask you, did they discipline you on the plantation? Did they hit you?
Who?
The white people.
No.
They didn't whip you and stuff?
No. I never even seen or heard of it.
What about
Did
racist?
your parents hit you? Did they give you corporal punishment going?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
I mean, if we did something wrong, and they would tell, hey, go sit down, or this, and we don't listen.
Well,
so what they would do is they would say, go out and bring me a switch, and they would whoop us.
With the switch,
But that was...
But the white man never beat you.
Let me ask you this, though, because this is a thing that's
Thank
still...
God.
That's so crazy. When I hear blacks say that, I'm like...
Well, I saw Roots, okay? We watched that growing up.
Roots was a setup.
Kunta Kinte was beaten violently by his master, and I hated that. Call me Toby. His name was Toby, and he's like, no, my name is Kunta Kinte.
That's part of the brainwashing.
Yeah, the blacks are good at that. So when what about racist language? That still exists today. Did you not experience that growing up? You know, like racist words and things being said to you?
Like what?
Like, gosh, I can't
like
even
what,
think
Tom?
of one of the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what, Tom?
Tom, like what?
I can't, just not
What's
nice
that?
things.
What do you, soundboard. You got a soundboard.
Oh, I do have a soundboard, yeah. Let's see here. What is it?
And he's helping. He's like,
you
I know the word.
You know, like that? Yeah. Nigga. Like, that's him saying
That's
it.
any. Yeah.
Remember that song, Don't Call Me Nigger?
Yeah.
Nope.
Whitey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't call me Whitey. Nigger. We used to dance to that.
Yeah.
What's up? What are
It's
you
in the 70s.
Right.
Don't call me. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, who wrote it?
You
Though?
know
We look
why?
at it, Josh.
Why?
Don't call me N-word, Whitey.
And you
I
know
remember
why?
that. Yeah, why?
It was just a word.
Right.
It had no meaning.
Right.
But were you
Human beings would tease each other like that. It was not personal.
Sly and the Family
Sly
Stone?
and the Family Stone.
Yeah.
I remember
Because
that.
it wasn't a big deal.
You know-
they have made that word a big, it's just a word.
It's just a word. I agree.
They have
but,
made it a big deal
but
to
it's-
divide and conquer.
But I'm saying, was that word and it like something that was said a lot growing up? Did you hear that a lot?
No.
No?
Not at all.
You didn't
Whites
hear it on
never-
the plantation?
No.
And you never heard it in Alabama in the 50s and 60s?
No.
Really?
If I heard it, I don't remember it because it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Really, it
Maybe
wasn't
you
a
were
big
so
deal.
used to hearing
But
it.
you agree.
No, I didn't grow up hearing that word.
No?
I only heard that word when I moved to the city, like Los Angeles, and I would hear black people calling each other that in their rap music and things like that.
What do you think
but
of rap?
I did not grow up hearing that word.
What do you think of rap music?
Yeah. We think rap music.
Rap crap.
Yeah.
It has no talent at all. Anybody can rap nasty words.
Are you not a fan of anybody like NBA Youngboy, anybody like that?
I don't know who that is.
Oh.
I don't know what it is either. I'm not very cool. What
Right.
about, what
You
about
don't
like Cardi B and like
And
hypersexual raps?
You don't like
what about
Public
that?
Enemy, like Socially Conscious or De La Soul? None of that? Tribe?
I don't even know who those people are.
None of them?
No. I'm sure I've heard of them.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah.
I've seen them, but not enough to
What
hold on
about
to.
Trick Daddy Dollars? You not a fan of him? No? Eat a
Are you
Booty Gang?
joking?
The Eat a Booty Gang?
Is that a joke?
No.
No, it's
that
real.
really exists?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've not heard of that. But I want you to know about the so-called N-word.
Yes. So
It's
cool.
just a word.
That's true.
But it's been used to divide and conquer. Words are just words if you don't make a big deal out of words.
That's true.
And words are, when you make a big deal out of them, they will hurt you. But if you don't make a big deal, they have no meaning.
Good explanation.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, absolutely.
This shit should be easy.
Yeah. So
Well, I think that, we kind of tried that approach, right? The reclaiming of the word. It happened in the 90s where rappers were openly using it, calling each other, N-word and stuff. I don't know if it worked.
you don't know
Same
if
with
it worked.
bitch, women calling each other a bitch, a cunt.
Right.
The word cunt
Yeah,
has
but to
become
be
cool
fair,
now.
there's a lot of cunty bitches out there.
No,
am I
they're all,
right?
yeah.
they're all cunty bitches. What about women? How do you feel about us
I think I
broads?
was already on gays first.
Oh, I'm sorry, the gays. Yeah, let's
yeah,
go
what
to
are we
the
doing with
gays.
these gays?
You show them how to overcome
Gayness?
the fallen state that they're in.
Yeah.
Because it truly comes from the resentment of their mothers.
That's where homosexuality comes from?
Yes. The mothers impose their will on their children, and they try to live through their children. They impose, they tell their kids what they got to do. And because the father's not there to protect the children from the mother, they become angry. And once you become angry, you become like what you hate.
You become gay.
It's not, I understand it's a cover, the gay word is a cover up, but it's evil. And our battle is a battle between good and evil, right versus wrong. And if we were to realize that, growing up, they never had all these different names for all this mess that's going on.
Yeah.
It was good or evil, right or wrong. And so we knew that we were dealing with evil or we were dealing with good.
Can you break a gay from being gay? Like, can you?
I work with all kinds of people from around the world.
Yeah.
Hermaphrodites and all kinds of people. Once they forgive their mothers, the things start to change.
The gayness goes away?
Yeah, because they've tried these camps and stuff. They sometimes they end up still being gay.
But
what do we do with those?
God said that in order for us to live, we must be born again. And all who are born of the woman must be born of the father. And so once you realize that and you forgive your mother, she's done the best she could. She couldn't help it, right?
That's true. I hate my mother.
Yeah. And once you forgive her, realizing that she could not help herself, then you start to change, because whatever you're dealing with, God would take that away from you and give you back your original identity as a kid when you were innocent. And then you would start develop a clear mind, because angry people live in their imagination. They live in thoughts, and they believe thoughts, and all thoughts, except for practical thoughts, all thoughts are all lies all the time. All the time.
But
once you
I want to get to this. If you forgive, will you like slowly kind of become straight again if you're gay?
Yes.
Really?
Because even that, you become what God created you to be,
which is not
a
gay.
Son or a daughter of God.
Yeah.
Because anyone that has anger is a son or daughter of the devil, of evil, right? But you just become a child of God again, meaning that you will have perfect love. You will not live in your thoughts and imagination. You will not be all emotional with fear and doubt and loneliness and suicidal thoughts and worry. All that would disappear. You would have a clear mind.
I just had a great idea. What if
you would treat people, because you understand yourself, and you would treat people.
I got an idea.
People in the same way.
What if you did a gay plantation? Like a plantation where you invite gays.
That's a great idea.
That's an amazing idea.
Yeah. And then you can
but two different plantations. The first one we discussed, and then a gay.
Well, the ones that want to overcome,
their gayness,
we'll help them. But the ones that don't, you have to leave them in their hell, because most people love their hell.
Yes, that's true.
They do. True. Most people, you can tell people, the way out is forgiveness.
What about bisexuals?
You got to forgive your mother. And once you forgive your mother, forgive your father for not protecting you from your mother. And then
You're telling me the story. That's what I deal with. I should be gay by now.
Why don't you forgive your mother?
Oh, it's such a long story.
So you do resist your mother? You're angry at your mother?
Oh, yes.
Are you serious or are you joking?
No, I'm being totally serious.
Really?
I mean, I did go through a bisexual phase in college, which does explain it.
Yeah.
And why are you angry at her?
Oh, it's how much time do you have? Wait, but let me ask you, what about bisexuals? Are they half okay?
What about black gay bisexuals?
Our battle is a battle between good and evil.
Yeah.
And if you're angry, you're on the side of evil, so you have all this mess to deal with.
How about all these pronouns today?
Oh, the pronoun people.
Yeah. They, them.
Don't get me started on those fools.
Hey, call me.
But that's what. But that's what happens when you allow evil to run your life.
Or mental illness.
It clouds your imagination, and you do crazy things.
So we can get these gays it seems like we can kind of straighten them out if we get them to forgive their mothers.
And God.
Blacks just have to release their hatred and anger and be individuals.
Black people's problem is not white people.
Yeah.
Really. It's not at all, not one iota. It's the same as white problems. They resent their parents. It starts in the homes. And if you notice, the men and the women act just like the mothers. They get angry real easily. They snap. They're offended really quickly. Yeah. Because they're emotional just like their mothers. And that's why they must return to the father. They must forgive their fathers and want their fathers for not protecting them from the mothers, and the mothers because they couldn't help themselves. They were done that way or treated that way by their mothers.
Well, no, you mentioned you had stuff with your mom. Did you work this out with her?
Absolutely.
Yeah. When did you forgive her?
I was very emotional.
Yeah.
I lived in my thoughts and emotions. And I had been going to different churches, and I would ask the preacher, what's wrong with me? I'm so emotional, and I can't really, and the church thing is not working. And read the Bible more. You got to read the Bible. So I finally asked God to let me see myself. And he allowed me to see that I resented my mother. I thought I loved my mother because I felt emotion for her. That felt like love, but that's not love. That's hate.
Yeah.
And that's what, when you're angry, that's what happens. You feel good. And as soon as you're feeling good, you get another thought or something happened. Now you feel bad. Then you feel good, and then you feel bad. They're both evil. They're both lies. And after a while, you just want to jump off a bridge because you want to commit suicide. But once I went and forgave her, it was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life, is to face and I was 38 at the time. And I had to go to her because God said when we forgive others, he will forgive us, right? So I went to her and I was afraid, but I told her, all my life I've been resenting you.
Why did you resent her? Because you grew up on a plantation?
No, because she resented my father. What happened was they were dating, and I don't know if I should mention it. I mentioned so much already. My mother and father had sex standing up. Standing. You ever had sex standing?
It's very difficult.
It's hard. It's a challenge. It's very challenging, especially when you have my type of length. But keep going.
It's true.
What a mess.
What a mess. Beta.
So they...
What a beta man. How can you deal with a man that can't have sex standing up?
Oh, he does. No, we do.
Oh, you do?
It's just not preferable. It's not my first pick. Let's say. So but tell me about your mother.
I have other strengths. But so
my mother
and your dad are having sex standing up.
Right. And so when I was growing up, I thought you could, in Alabama, I thought you couldn't make babies standing up, right? So when I would be having sex with my girlfriend and stuff, I would try to stand so I didn't make a baby. But that's not true.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, and so my mother told my father that she was pregnant. He's like, no. She's like, I am. He's like, when we were standing, you can't make a baby standing.
Yeah.
And so my mother became angry at my father. And at that point, she wanted nothing else to do with him.
Oh, dear.
And so when I was born, she tried to keep me away from him.
Yeah.
But inwardly, I wanted my father. I had this emptiness, this void, this yearning for my father. And I noticed that nothing else could really fulfill that void. And so she kept me away from him. But when I became a teenager, my grandmother told me who he was. And so she would allow him to come over to see me. And I remember, even as a kid, when my father would come over, when he was around, I felt like everything was fine. I felt like God was in the house, right? But when he would leave, I would feel that void again. So when I became a teenager, I went and talked to him and got his side of what happened. Because women are not going to tell you, the children, the real truth about what really happened.
Women never do.
They always tell you that it was the father's fault. They never tell you it's their fault.
Fucking broads. Let me ask you about...
And so, let me just say this. Yeah. And so when I went and I understood him, his side of the story, and so I forgave my mother. And for the first time, she admitted that she was wrong for doing that.
Wow.
And that helped. Oh, that helped you forgive.
She said, she said I was wrong for that. And she apologized to me for that.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. She's capable of doing that. A
lot
of people aren't.
Right. 99.999999, not all, but 99.9% of the mothers will not admit that they were wrong.
No.
Yeah, that's true. Mine won't.
They will send you to hell before they admit that
that's
they
true.
were.
So you have a special mother that she was able to do that.
And so, but when I forgave her, and
your anger released, probably
everything left.
Yeah,
really. And I have not been angry since then.
That's lovely.
And you're
and
straight.
that was like 38 years ago. And 30 some years ago. I was 38 at the time, so I've been 30. And so I realized that our battle is not a battle between black and white. It's not a battle between male and female. It's a battle between good and evil, and it's happening inside of us.
Yes, it's your own bullshit that
Yeah,
you're projecting onto the world. Most of the time people are. That's true. I think a lot of these pronoun folks are like angry at the world, but you're like,
it's really inside of them.
Yeah, who are you mad at?
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Because
you are your own world.
You're in your own hell.
And you're in your own hell. And when you work out your hell by forgiving and stop believing all these
See, I think Jesse's right. I think I'm on his team now.
The hate
So
your mom
why
part.
don't you forgive your mother?
Oh, I'm not gonna.
But are you able to say why?
She's
you
dead.
won't?
She's dead.
But
She's
you
dead.
still can forgive her.
Okay, do you want to do it? Should we do it together?
What do you mean?
Let's forgive her right now.
But it's
But
only
I can't
you.
talk to her. She's dead.
But you can realize that you became just like her, and then the
Just
thing,
like her?
yeah,
Am I
and
as
the
bad
thing
as
that-
her? Oh my God, it's over for me.
you're not yourself. If you resent her, you're not you. You
oh
are
yeah,
her.
I don't resent her anymore.
And if you realize you couldn't help yourself, that will cause you to realize that she couldn't help herself, that something else was making you think and act and do the things you were doing. It wasn't you. And once you realize that about you, you can realize that about her, and you can forgive her.
Right, like
since
we're
she's
we're
expired.
two peas in a pod because
There's
people
wise
get
words.
neurotic. Right, they get neurotic because of this. This is what you're talking about.
But,
this is where the neuroses comes from.
Right. And
No,
so,
it's true.
Yeah.
I
And so-
believe you. You're a very smart man. You're
But
very
it-
smart. Are you married?
No.
No kids, no
I
marriage.
have a son. I have 2 grandkids and 2 great grandkids and 1 on the way.
Are you
What?
close with your son?
Yes.
What did-
Amazing.
Amazing.
But unfortunately, the same thing happened with him. Is that when I was in high school, my last year, I got my girlfriend pregnant at the time, and then I
But
moved.
you were
to
you were laying down when you had sex.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was that time.
Okay.
And so I moved to California. I graduated high school. I moved to LA so I could get a job and get an apartment. And she was going to come once she had the baby, finished high school and had the baby. But her mother made her get married to another guy because it was an embarrassment in those days for men, especially in the black community, to get pregnant out of wedlock.
Yeah.
And so her family didn't want to be embarrassed, so they made her marry someone else, and she kept him away from me. And so even though I tried to get him, I went to see him, I had a lawyer and everything, but you know how women, once they get angry, they'll make the kids suffer. Trying to hurt the father, they'll destroy the children.
True that.
So he was angry, but when he became, a teenager, we talked. I told him exactly what happened, and he finally realized she had lied to him. So now we're close.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah. And he forgave his mother as well.
That's important.
huge.
Because as long as you have anger, you're never gonna be free.
That's true.
individual.
You actually have very, very good
That's
insight
true.
about the anger towards.
That's true.
Towards
Yeah. And it
parents.
doesn't matter
That's
where
true.
you live. It doesn't matter how much money you have.
Right.
It doesn't matter how many friends or enemies you have. As long as you have anger, you're never going to be a free individual.
This
That's
is true.
absolute truth.
It's a spiritual issue, and nothing can resolve that except you forgive and allow God to take over your life.
Very true.
So,
Now,
yeah, go ahead.
women, most are fucking, not that bright.
Yeah.
So, like the other day, I'm on this flight and I see a broad is the pilot, and I'm fucking losing my mind. I want to get off the
A
plane.
woman pilot?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that happened to me coming here.
What'd you think?
Did you hear that already?
No.
So how do you know about that?
I'm telling you what
We
happened
just-
to me.
It just happens to be.
It happened
And
to
so
me.
what did you do?
I mean, I looked for other flights, Yeah, I didn't want to put my life
What a
in
mess.
Yeah.
What
in
did
a
you do?
Woman's hands. What'd you do?
So I'm sitting there on the plane last night.
Yeah.
And a black woman come out of the pilot thing.
At the cockpit.
At the cockpit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And she didn't even look like an American black. She looked like an African black.
Yeah.
Because she like really black.
Yeah.
Like shiny black. And she had that look.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked the flight attendant, do we have a female pilot here?
You asked for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. I'm like, why?
How did that go?
Yeah, what'd she say?
She's like, well, she could do it. I'm like, no.
No. Yeah.
And I asked, is she's affirmative action? And she's like, one of those diversity things happening
Well,
here.
that's a big thing now is the diversity. United is like the real champion of that, right? Did you fly United? Probably.
Delta.
It was Delta, yeah.
United
is,
really have it back. You're right.
United is really a proponent. The CEO wants like 50% of the cockpit to be diverse and female. And I just, here's the thing.
They put our lives at risk.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I also think
and the fat flight attendants. Too.
I've seen fucking female doctors where I'm like,
Oh,
you got to
my
be fucking
gosh.
shitting me.
Yeah. So let me just tell you what happened.
Yeah.
And so I told the flight attendant, no. And she was like laughing. And then the flight guy, they have,
the male flight attendant?
He came by. And And he was like, "Oh, I hear that you asked about the flight attendant." I'm like, "Yeah, I saw that we have a female flight attendant. I wanted to know, is she affirmative action or
is she qualified?
Or one of those program things they have going?"
Yeah.
And he kind of laughed, and I guess he went and asked her.
Yeah.
And then he told me before he went, he said, "Well, there's a white male in the pilot with her." I'm like, "Oh, I
You
feel."
breathed some relief.
I said, "I feel better now."
Yeah.
Wait, so how did she get in? Was it
Women are
affirmative action?
So I don't know.
But what if she's a good pilot? Can she fly you if she's tested well and she does a good job, or do you still have an aversion to her? Oh, and what about a black and female pilot? Is this a double whammy? No.
If she earned it,
right?
You know, like if we didn't have all this mess going on,
and she probably won a raffle though,
earning their way.
Yeah.
Pilot raffle.
Yeah.
And people were earning their way, I wouldn't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
Because I know that you were earning.
With all these little
But
shortcuts
They're
now.
taking out all the qualified people and putting in this is our lives at risk in the air, you know?
Will you see a female doctor?
So let me tell you what happened.
Oh, yeah. What? Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Okay, there's more?
yet.
Oh, okay.
And so the black guy came and the
flight attendant?
No, not, the flight attendant.
Yeah.
He was
A
like,
male flight attendant.
Yeah.
Kind of gay.
We won't go there. But so he came back. He said, "Why not?" I said, "She might not know what she's doing, man.
Yeah.
She may be in affirmative action." So they brought me. He came back. He gave me a little card thing, and he said, "Well, this is for you." I'm like, "Well, what is it?" And it's talked about the airplane and the flight, the pilots and things like that.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, okay." And so when I was getting off the plane, she came out. They had her to come out of the flight, out of the
Cockpit?
pilot thing.
Yeah.
And then the flight attendant said, "Oh, I want you to meet the pilot." And she greeted me, and I greeted her. And I asked her, I said, "Are you an affirmative action pilot?"
How did she react to that?
She laughed. She smiled, and it wasn't a big deal.
Okay.
And what? And she was cool. Wait,
Did she answer?
Yeah. Did she?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
I don't know. I can understand. I don't know if she spoke English.
Really?
Right.
She had an accent?
But it sounded like an African.
Yeah, sure.
She might
like
be,
an
yeah.
African accent or
she
something
could
like
be.
that.
That would probably
so
be
I
like
don't know if she really spoke English, but she was friendly.
She was friendly,
Yeah.
just foreign.
Because I was friendly too.
Friendly foreign.
But
it wasn't personal.
But Jesse, may I ask you, just from this preoccupation with male, female, black, not black, white, like this is a lot of energy, no?
Yes.
To expend, to be concerned, like
Yep.
if,
It's a
what
waste of
race is
time.
the cockpit lady, is if it's a woman. But I mean, for you personally, don't you find it exhausting sometimes?
Well, I was only concerned because my life is at risk. I'm in the air. And I know now that there all this mess about diversity.
You think that's going to cloud the hiring policies,
Yes.
the qualifications?
Right.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. And so it didn't really matter that she was a female. What mattered was, did she earn it? Was she trained? Was she?
But she was, right?
Her? We have
we don't know, but here's the thing. What if she's on her period, you know what I mean? Or her boyfriend
That's true.
fucking broke up with her and then they're crying in the cockpit and decide to just like
Women are
nosedive into the
emotional.
ground. Like they're, you know how broads are. They're fucking emotional.
They're so emo. You're right.
Yeah, it's true.
No, it's true.
I don't think you should put a woman like, I don't think there should be women bus drivers. I don't think there
No.
should be women drivers, period. Honestly, I think.
Well, some women, if they're not married, they have to work.
It's true.
Yeah, but I feel like there should be
But-
some type of service, like a shuttle service to take, so that they're not behind the wheel, you know?
No, but if they're not married, they have to work. They should work to take care of them.
until they're married.
But if they're married with children,
Then they shouldn't work.
They shouldn't work.
I agree.
Because kids come first, right?
Yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah. And that's how it was in the good old days. The kids came first.
Yes.
And so the father and the mother would make sure that the mother was home. And the mother had no problem with that. She understood the order of God and Christ. Christ and man.
But I think they did have a
man
problem
over
with it.
woman and woman over
Because
children.
the women wanted out. They got too much.
Out of what?
Actually, that's not true. The wars
Nuh-uh.
happened, World War II, and they put women in the factories. That was the beginning of it, as women got sent to work by the government. And then they got used to it.
When
and the
I
men
was
came
growing
back.
up, I
They
didn't
did it.
hear women complain about being home and raising the man's children.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
That's because they never had any other options.
my mother, other than me, had 9 other children.
Holy shit.
All
Well, I
black?
was 9. She had 8 other. I'm number 9, right?
Were they all black?
All, as the ace of spades.
Wow.
And the beauty is she never worked while raising children.
Yeah, lucky broad.
Never worked. My stepfather, took care of her and the kids, and my mother was fine with that. And then once all the kids became adults, and my mother finally got a job because she just didn't want to sit around home anymore.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, that's all I knew for the most part.
Yeah.
And women they didn't think that they were second class, or they didn't think that the man, they felt less than the man or anything like that, because they knew the order of God.
But
and they didn't mind doing that. And they didn't have all this mess going on telling women they were better or less.
But do you think it's reasonable that a woman do a job, like, even if they're like qualified, with like they have lesser intellect and they're, they slower decision making?
He's not saying that.
I'm talking.
Right.
What the hell is wrong with you?
So I'm not understanding your question, because that's not what I'm saying at all.
I'm asking though.
No, I don't think that.
You don't think that?
No.
You just think that they need to earn that right, that position.
What position?
Like a position like a pilot.
Yes.
But just not be
just like you or I would have to earn it. They shouldn't just throw us in the cockpit because of our color.
Right.
Or because we're male, but because we know the job.
That's a good
we
point.
earned the job. I mean, that's what made America great.
9 kids.
That made America great. I had one her husband had I could be wrong, but almost 19 kids, if not 19. And this was growing up in so-called segregated Alabama. Mm-hmm. They bought land, they owned property, and none of the kids, if they worked the field, they still went to school. They all graduated from college, and they became doctors and lawyers.
Damn.
And it was like when I was a kid growing up, this is one of my aunts and her husband.
Bro, I'm more astounded that I didn't know there were plantations in 1950 still. That's how stupid I am. I thought that stuff ended before then.
because you're a woman.
Yeah. See? Makes perfect sense.
But things have go ahead.
Are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Are you? What?
Yeah.
You're not sure?
No, I mean, I'm not practicing.
Oh.
I was raised as a Christian, but I don't go to church anymore.
Do you understand the order of God?
The order?
Yeah.
Like his message,
rules,
his rule?
God in Christ, Christ in man.
Yeah.
Man over woman, woman over children.
Yeah.
Do you understand that order?
Fuck yeah, that was awesome.
He's messing around, right?
No, I'm not.
But the hierarchy.
I know you're a comedian, so I can't tell if you're
No, I'm
messing
being
around.
serious. I'm down with that order.
Wait,
You are?
flute
Yeah.
again. It's God, angels.
God in Christ.
God and Christ are one.
Christ and man.
Christ and man.
Well, God in Christ.
God and Christ.
Christ over man.
Christ
man over
man.
woman.
Man
woman over
woman,
children.
Woman over children.
That's the order that we grew up with,
about
and
the
that
gays?
order worked.
Yeah.
And that's why America was an amazing country at one time.
Yeah.
Because blacks and whites understood that order. So even in Alabama, the blacks and the whites, I'm sure you can find some mean people at any point in life, right? Those that don't like the order of God. But that's why blacks and whites who believed in that order treated one another the way we would like to be treated.
Yeah, I still have a problem with female pilots, but I also want to say that things
Do
are.
you really have a problem with it?
Oh yeah, I don't think that should happen.
And all these gay things now, trans, gays,
Things are so weird. Like, look at the world today. I mean, look at this.
How are we
It's
gonna
because the
rank-
family is broken.
His pig, Norman Somerton, in his tit cups. Been in these babies for 7 hours now today.
Turn up the volume.
Yesterday. Look at these
It's all the
things,
way up.
eh?
You know, like.
Imagine a pig with tits. Who would have thought? Well, it's time to take him off and have a shower because pig is starting to stink up the high heavens. So let's get these tit cups
This
off.
is.
Oh, there's one.
This is the world today, though. You know, putting out.
Oh, there's two.
But that's not the world today.
But it is though.
No, it sure is. We see these
Why
folks
not?
all the
we
time.
See we
It's
see these.
not the world today.
What would you say it is?
That is him today.
Oh, that's true.
That's one individual that is responsible for his own action. One individual. That's not the world. We are our own world. And,
That's true.
And
we are the world.
And just because someone else does something and act a certain way, we don't have to be a part. That man has issues, whatever his world is going on in him, but that's not the way the world is.
Yeah.
That's the way he is. And we've always had good and evil in the world because evil works through human beings. Good works
So this
through
is
human
evil.
beings.
But you say that this is the evil side of the force. Yeah.
That's the evil side of this guy. This thing working through him.
Yeah.
And
He's got tit cups
he
on.
is right because he has issues that he's not dealing with.
Would you say
And
this is the
something
devil?
else is driving him.
The devil is in in this man, is what you would say.
You're either, your nature, your mindset is either of evil or good. It's either of God or good. That's why God said we must be born again. But that guy, this is not the way the world is. This is America. America, the place America is an amazing place.
Yeah.
It's still America, right?
Yeah.
But you have people that, unlike the good old days where boys were boys and men were men, women were women, girl were girl, they understood the spiritual battle. That is not as understood today as it was then. But this is that guy. Those his issue. They're not my issue or your issue or her issue or anyone else but him.
One of the things,
not the way of the world,
that's become more prominent today in today's conversations are like trans people. They're much more prominent today than they were like even when I was a kid. Like, what's your opinion on, you know, the trans movement, trans rights, just like the fact that that's a much more prevalent thing in society today?
I had there was a guy called my radio show the other day, last week, and he was in his 40s, and he said that his mother had married a woman, and that his mother and this woman raised he and his 3 brothers. He had 2 other brothers, and that they treated the kids horribly, right? Because whatever reason. And the boy, I believe he said his older brother had turned into a transgender person. And something about the middle brother, but I forgot what he said. And then he was working on becoming a trans person. But then he heard the message of forgiveness, that he needed to forgive his mother because he was angry at her, and you become like what you hate. And as a result of that, in his 40s, he realized that he needed to forgive her, so he went and forgave his mother. And as a result of that, he felt better. He could see a little clearer. He felt better because he knew he didn't want to be a trans, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And so he stopped taking the hormone things.
Now he's better.
So it's just like the gay thing. It's just like the gays.
Yeah.
May I ask you something, Jesse Lee Peterson?
He's working on getting better. And so he stopped, and he said, and now, but he's 40, because he hated mother, he's still living with her. And so he was going to forgive her and move on with his life. And he was miserable, but now that he can see, because angry people cannot see, right?
Of course.
And he said, but now he can see and he understands, he feel better.
Yeah.
So they can overcome it if they were to take control of their own life.
Yes.
And start trying to understand what's going on in them.
A lot of people don't have it. But may I say,
because they're not told that.
They're not taught it.
Right. They're not saying that this is you. This is not
your
you.
issue. Yeah.
This is not you. This is something else that made a home in you, that made you do the things that you don't want to do.
Can I ask you this? America, especially today, it's full of the trans people. Women are voting. Women are in the Pentagon. Gay marriage, all this stuff. America is it's in chaos. Do you think somebody like you with your conservative values, would you be happier living in North Korea or maybe Russia? Because Putin agrees with a lot of the stuff you're saying.
Well,
have you been to Russia?
Not yet.
Yeah.
You would like it.
I think you might dig it.
I think you might dig
but
it.
I love America.
No, I know.
I'm totally loving America. Even as a kid, I loved America. As a kid, you know, we used to celebrate the 4th of July, America, and the 4th of July and all that. So I still have the same feeling for my country.
I've always wanted to do like Afghanistan, where you could like if a woman says something stupid, you can just throw a rock at her head. You know.
The problem is women were not created to lead. They were created to follow.
Truth.
And when you try to put them in, give them a leadership role, it's not a leadership role. It's not in their nature. You try to make them do something that's just not in their nature to lead, and that's why things doesn't work out. I remember growing up, especially in Chicago, Indiana. I used to live over there, and women didn't even like working for other women.
Yeah.
They used to say that, hey, I don't want a woman boss. She's too emotional.
Yeah.
She's too overreactionary. It's not in her to lead. So it was known, but it wasn't thought of as a bad thing. It wasn't thought of as a less than. It was just the order of God, and women who understood that had no problem with that at all.
Women, they ruin everything. They ruin the earth, and then they shouldn't even go to space. Remember when the Challenger exploded?
Can you
what was wrong with
imagine?
her? There was a woman on there. Remember
Can
that?
you imagine being in outer space with an angry woman?
Oh my God! You know that
It's
that
over.
rocket probably just like killed itself. It probably heard the woman talking. And it was
Chattering.
like, "Fuck this."
The rocket was like, "What the?"
Now, what about qualities that other races have? Like, have you ever? I just got back from Asia, and they really
About the
seem to
Asians.
have their shit going over there. Do you think that's an innate Asian quality?
It's Asian controlled by men for the most part.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it was here when it was controlled by men.
Yeah, it's mostly men.
And I counsel with men and women around the world,
Mm-hmm.
and they're having the same spiritual issue that all human beings have. If the father's not the head of the wife and protecting the children and guiding them, they have that.
Mm-hmm.
I counsel with them. They have the same problem. They say the same thing.
Yeah.
But maybe outwardly, the world they're surrounded, maybe ran better to become men
Are in
running
charge.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And so,
but they're not white. I thought the white people do things best. Would Asians be considered second best to the white people?
well, I mean,
White
in
men,
America.
sorry, white men. In
I'm talking
America.
about my country.
Okay.
Yeah, but in your
Yeah.
country, we have Asians.
Look what happened with Obama. Remember Obama, the fallen Messiah?
The fallen Messiah?
Yeah, Obama.
No.
He was a fallen Messiah?
And how about the big Momma Michelle?
Big Mama?
Yeah, remember big Momma Michelle?
I didn't know people called her Big Mama.
Oh yeah,
Really?
she's big Mama.
Do you believe the rumors that
You know
she is
why
actually
she-
a man?
No.
Do you believe these rumors?
No, I never fall for rumors.
Then why is she a big mama?
Because when they were in the White House, she was trying to tell people what they could feed their children.
Oh, right.
You know, and she wanted to pass laws where you could feed, telling you what to feed your
Right.
own kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, she was eating up all of the ribs and the tamales.
Okay.
She was picking out on rib and tamales.
Right.
Obama said, Michelle love her tamales.
Yeah. Big Mama's
And
house.
then we had,
Yeah.
I think we had like a picture of her somewhere eating a cafe. She had some nice ribs.
Yeah.
And she know black people love ribs.
Yeah. I love ribs too.
But she was trying to tell other people what they could eat. And it reminds me of when, you know, in the black community, I don't know about the white community, they call the grandma Big Mama.
Yeah.
Right? And when Big Mama come over, she get the best chicken, she get the best part of the food. And then, and she would tell the other people, you can have this little dry piece of white meat or something, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
And Michelle remind me of that.
Big
So
Mama.
that's why I call her Big Mama.
May I ask
But
you then, if you
let
don't
me
like
just say real
Obama,
fast,
sure,
when
sure.
Obama got in there,
Sure.
I told the folks, do not vote for Obama.
Yeah.
Why?
He's not going to make the country better.
Why? But why though?
He black.
Oh, but
He
come
black.
on now.
He's a
But,
socialist.
but you're saying you think his
He's a
inherent
socialist.
blackness would make him a bad president, even
No,
before
because
he
he's
knew.
a socialist.
You thought he was a socialist. So if
He's
you were,
about
hold on.
controlling the people.
If you were a Republican, would you be down for a black Republican president?
If they were from the old school,
Yeah.
An
if
old
they
school
weren't
black
into the
Republican.
race thing,
Right.
if they were not, they know what it means to be an individual.
Yeah.
They knew what it meant to work hard and earn your way. I would have no problem with it.
And then who do you, in your estimation, who are the finest American U.S. presidents? Who's your fave? I feel like I know the
That's
answer.
my favorite question.
Yeah.
Really?
I had a
You've hit a
feeling.
home run.
Despite my womanness,
You've
I
hit
asked a
a
good
home
question.
run.
Okay.
Here we go.
The one, the only.
Ronnie?
No, it's Donnie.
Oh,
Right?
Trump.
It's Trump.
The great white hope.
Yeah.
Wow.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Wow. Wow.
The
That-
great
wow.
white hope.
Or is your second favorite President Biden?
Who?
President Biden?
Who?
Joseph Biden? Are you a fan of his?
What the?
Beta.
What a beta. Beta.
Yeah, he's
Wait,
pretty beta.
why are liberal men betas? Let's discuss
They
this.
haven't overcome their mothers.
Yeah. It all goes
They
back
were
to
not-
all roads go back to mother.
It's
yeah.
a spiritual battle.
They're basically
Yeah.
gay.
They're
Every
guys.
man and woman
Just like the gays.
must be born again of the Father. Even a woman, she has to overcome her mother because the mother recreate the woman in her image as well. That's why she repeats what the mother does. She's angry. She imposes on her children to do the same thing. But I like Donald Trump because he is from the old school. He does work for us. He's not trying to all these social programs. And
You think they're gonna?
And so he's doing a job. It would be like if you hire someone to work for your radio station, right? You don't care what color they are.
No.
You want them to come and do their job.
Yes.
Get paid and go live their life, right?
Right.
That's what Donald Trump
But what do you
does.
think about, there's Tom and I lived in a really bad neighborhood, and we were very broke when we first got married, right? We were poor. We had no money. We lived in a shitty apartment. We were brand new comedians. And I remember when I lived in that community, in that very poor community.
El Salvadorian.
It was really, really shitty. It was full of gangbangers, and it was just oppressive. Like, you felt there was no way out. So, we're lucky we could get out of that neighborhood. We get some jobs. We got the fuck out the minute we could. But if you grow up in that environment, how do you propose that people pull themselves out? It's hard if you don't grow up seeing it. You don't have a dad. You don't have education. How are we going to fix this? If you're the president, how do you fix it?
When you become an adult, take control of your own life. There is not one situation that you cannot overcome. You're not stuck in anything. Once you take responsibility and don't follow the crowd, you become an individual and work on your life, there's nothing that can stop you.
That's true.
Really.
Yeah, that's true.
But as long as you think with the crowd and you need to be a part of the group and you need to have people to validate you or like you or dislike you or do this, you're not going to make it.
You could basically make the case that let a white kind of give you an example.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Just follow the path of a white.
That's an amazing idea.
Follow the whites.
Thank you.
Amazing. When I first moved to LA, I lived in South Central LA. And for the first time in my life, I seen gangs and things like that, right? And I couldn't relate to it at all because in Alabama, I didn't grow up. I don't even know of anybody fighting in Alabama. I had one fight in high school, and that was over the baseball bat. It was my time to bat, and the other guy thought it was his time. We fought over the bat, never fought again, right?
Yeah.
But when I moved to LA, it was in South Central LA with the blacks, and they were gang banging, they were blaming, the community went down because when I first moved there, mostly white in that area except for my folks. And some other black. It was a nice area. But then the blacks started moving in, the white moved out, and it just went to hell. And I'm like, why don't the black people cut the grass and paint the house and do the same thing? They wouldn't do it. I had not seen that before because we were taught to take responsibility for our own lives as an adult. And so when I moved away, my parents didn't worry about me. I didn't have to call home every day. My mama wasn't calling me every day. And they didn't worry because they had, by example, and taught me growing up how to be responsible for me and that no one else would be responsible for me but me.
Did you ever consider leaving LA? Because it seems like it's kind of an interesting choice for you to move there. And then you're seeing that. Did you ever go I'm leaving this place? Or were you just set on LA?
When LA became a hellhole overnight.
Really?
When I first went to LA, when I walked off the plane, it was paradise.
Yeah, what year did you go?
It was clean, 68. It was clean, it was beautiful, opportunities everywhere, no homeless people on the streets and things like that. And it stayed like that for a long time, and then overnight it just changed, right?
How long into that did it change?
I would say over the last, maybe the last 10 years, I started seeing a change.
In the first 10 years that you were there?
No.
Or you mean the last 10 years?
He's been there. And is it the blacks? But do you think it's because of the black people?
No, it's because we have a liberal government.
Yes, yeah. What about the homeless? Do you think, what should we do with the homeless?
I would make them work for themselves. I would not get them government a program, free houses and free
But what
everything.
if they're mentally ill? They're schizophrenic or maybe they have mental disorders. How should we treat them?
I would do whatever I can to help them overcome that.
Yeah.
But I would not take care of them because as long as you take care of someone, they're never going to get better.
They're never going to get back. Yeah.
They're never going to get better.
I wish we could ship them away.
Oh, that'd be
to the gay island or whatever.
Yeah.
And have it homeless and gays together.
Homeless.
But like Karen Bass, for example, she want to house them all.
Yeah.
She want hotels to house them. That's not going to help them at all because you put them in free housing, they're going to destroy the house.
Yeah.
And some of the meanest, nastiest, unconcerned, don't care people are homeless people.
Yeah.
There's some they'll go on your property and they will dig in the trash and they'll put all the trash out of the trash can.
Yeah.
And they'll leave it there. They'll take what they want and leave it right on your property.
Some of the
and
homeless.
then you tell them that you need to move that. They will get mad at you for telling them, no, you can't do this.
Disrespect.
You could even argue that homeless
they're
are
nasty, mean, no
nasty.
good people. That's why they're homeless.
They're even worse than blacks.
They refuse to. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, almost right.
Homeless are worse than the black.
And not all.
Can that be a new shirt? Homeless, they're worse than blacks.
Not all, but most.
99.99999.
Yeah. Can we stop for a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta pee.
Sure. Yeah,
yeah.
I had a lot of coffee, a lot of water.
Yes, go for it.
And then we'll
Help
wrap
yourself.
up.
How
Okay.
long have we been talking for so far?
A while, yeah.
I mean,
we're gonna.
you're
It's gonna be a
riveting. We
quick
love you.
wrap up when we come back. So,
Yeah, we're
amazing.
amazing. And we're back. We went to the quick bathroom break. Before we wrap up,
I gotta say this to you first.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I had one of your guys on my show, the FallenState.tv. The fall. Remember that?
Yeah.
The FallenState.tv.
Yes.
And I guess you guys used to be in L.A. or California, right?
Yeah, I'm from there.
And then you moved here, but that guy stayed there. What's his name?
Ryan
I had so
Sickler?
much fun with Ryan.
Huh?
I had fun with him.
He's great.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. He had fun with you. He had a lot of fun with you.
Yes.
But my producer that introduced him, had him on, I had never heard of Ryan, to be honest, right?
Sure.
And I guess Ryan thought he was a white guy. But my producer want me to tell you guys hi. He love you guys.
Wait,
So
Ryan, you're saying that Ryan Sickler thought he was a white
I think
guy?
he thought my producer was some little white guy.
Oh.
I guess he must have said that when he came on you guys' show.
Oh, that your
talk about-
producer's white.
Yeah.
You're saying that's a mistake.
Yeah,
Your producer's not white.
He's not white.
What is he?
I don't know if he's Mexican. He's not Mexican either, but he's one of those kind of countries.
Oh, thank you for clarifying, though. It's
but-
very important.
Sean, tell me what's Danny. But Danny is...
But is
he's the
one of your
producer.
producers white? Maybe? Like you have multiple producers?
My radio producer is white, Sean, the guy that's here.
Yeah. And then your
And then the FallenState.tv,
that's
Daniel,
a brown guy.
He's a brown guy.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
he's not white.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But,
Okay.
Maybe Ryan thought he was tan or something, you know?
well,
That's
maybe because
true.
all light-skinned people look alike.
There you go.
That's true.
That may be it.
Do you think all white
But
people
he
look
loved
alike?
you guys' show.
No,
And he wanted to say thanks. And he
Ryan had a great time with you. He came on here.
Yeah.
It was fun,
He
too.
had a lot of fun.
It was absolutely fun.
Yeah.
But I do want to say there are a lot of people hurting today,
Mm-hmm.
and they think that something outside can fix them. They think getting married will solve the problem. They think having children will solve the problem. They think having a different job will solve the problem, or getting a degree will solve the problem. But the only thing that's going to make you free and solve all your issues within yourself is that you must forgive. You must. It is. And most people have been taught to forgive the father, but they have not been taught to forgive the mother. And so it still leaves them in limbo. You got to forgive your mother and father.
Well, it sounds like it really worked for you when you were 38. It changed your whole life.
It changed everything.
Yeah.
And I'm working with men and women of all races. At my nonprofit, Bond, we have every first Thursday night, we have meetings for men only. Every third Thursday night for ladies only. And Sunday morning for everybody. And there are men and women from around the world, all races, black, white, Mexican, Chinese, Asian. They're working on themselves now, and they understand that they have been deceived, that the issue was always with them, and that they had to forgive their mothers and forgive their father. And once they did that, something changed right away.
Now, see, this I believe is your real message, Jesse Lee Peterson. I feel like you're a pastor too, correct? Yeah,
Right.
you're from the church. I do feel like this is your real message, and this stuff about the whites being the best and all this isn't the truth.
No,
of
I'm
you,
just
is
messing.
this?
I'm just joking around because when I was growing up, black people, Tuskegee Institution was founded by a black man.
Yeah.
Booker T. Washington, right? And he grew up in slavery. He grew up enslaved, but when you read Up From Slavery, he tell you, you know what? I didn't hate the white people. Even in those days, they sold his family off and all, but he stayed away from anger. He stayed away from anger, and he got help from white people and black people.
Anger is the real curse.
Anger is your enemy.
Absolutely.
Anger is evil.
Most definitely.
Anger is hatred.
Yes. And you're going to project it out into the world. You're going to project it out, and I agree.
And you think that the world is against you, but it's your own enemy inside of you.
It's
in your mind and emotion.
This is true. And people who are angry are down a dark path, for sure.
They are, absolutely.
Yes. Regardless of race, gender, whatever it is.
It has nothing to do with race.
Yeah.
No.
And it's with every human being. That's why God said we must return to the Father. There will come a time when I return the children to the fathers and the father to the children. Do not believe that anger is normal. You don't need anger in your life. That's your enemy. And so you must forgive.
Well, this is a great message to wrap up on. We had a really good time with you here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much
for coming. It was amazing. And where can people...
I do want to tell you this. Yeah. Do you have anger?
I don't feel angry.
Oh,
He's
do you
calm.
have anger? Do you have anger?
I mean, some, sure.
You have anger?
Sure, yes.
And so why not let it go?
It's a good question.
How to let it go? This is a how.
Forgiveness.
How?
Forgive.
Babe, you can't tell me that you're without anger. It doesn't creep up on you every now and then. You go, where did that come from? You're totally absolved.
I can absolutely promise you.
Well, you figured it out then, my friend.
Because I forgave. I realized that my mother did the best she could. My father did the best he could. They couldn't help it. And so everyone I deal with now, because I don't have the anger, I can see that they can't help it. It's not personal.
Right.
They just can't help it. Angry people can't help it.
I set a homeless camp on fire on Cesar Chavez here.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks, man. That was like...
Anger would make you do that.
Yeah. But then it had a great result.
Yeah.
That's true.
They all fell into the lake.
That's right. Lake of fire. I do want to say to the men, and not just you, but me or any man.
Yeah.
Any male that has anger is a woman.
Hold on, let's say it again.
Every male, I don't care where. Mm-hmm. Any male that has anger is a woman. He is his mother.
Ooh.
That's rough. Nothing worse than being a woman.
Nothing worse than being a woman. Troy, you're telling me I hate it.
And it's not the woman per se, right? But it's that spirit that's
in her. It's female energy.
It's feminine.
It's that spirit that's in her.
It's chatty, broad energy.
It been passed down to her from Adam and Eve days.
Wait a minute. What about like people?
You know how Eve listened to the serpent?
Shouldn't have fucking done that.
Right, and the serpent became her God.
Yeah.
And then sin entered into the world, right?
Yeah.
And then Adam listened to the woman, and the woman became his God.
Jesus.
And that's the battle that we're having now. It's the spirit. It's not the person itself. But so the mother can't help it because that spirit been passed on since Eve. Mm-hmm. And the man cannot deal with the woman in the right way because the woman is his God. So once he forgives his mother and his father, then his life would change just like that as well. And so will the woman, and you'll be free.
Let me ask you.
You'll live in this evil world, but you wouldn't be a part of it.
Where can people find you more? Like there's the radio show. How often is that?
Go to rebuildingtheman.com.
Rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com.
Yeah.
And then The Fallen State, is that on YouTube?
TheFallenState.tv.
.tv. It's also on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah. Or JesseLeePeterson.com.
JesseLeePeterson.com. So there's all the places you can find them. You can listen to them. This was a fun, insightful, and at times very informative and hilarious conversation. Thank you for stopping by.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. Blacks, you know what to do. Gays, you know what to do. Female pilots,
whites, you know what to do.
Whites, you know what to do.
Tell
Homeless,
the white people to stop being afraid.
Stop being afraid.
Overcome mama, they will overcome fear.
Forgive the
Stop
female
being
pilot.
afraid, whites.
Stop.
Right.
Feel. Let the fear go. Let the anger go. And all of us can unite as one.
And you will be able to live in this world.
Yes.
And have perfect peace. While hell is going on all around you, you will not be a part of that hell.
Forgive your mother.
Don't call me Whitey.
Forgive your.
Don't call me Whitey. Honky.
All right.
Can I bring Shawnee here for a minute? Say hello to you guys.
Yeah, we're just wrap. We're just wrap up.
If you can't do it,
wrap
fine.
up.
No, just after let's wrap up and then bring him in.
Well, okay. Thank you all for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having my stuff on your show.
Amazing. Of course.
And we have treats for you to try too. We got some treats.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. Thank
Any
you guys.
question for me?
No, that's it.
Thank you for watching. I think we covered it. My goodness.
Good night.
Bye. I would like to give a shout out to all my sexy BBWs. So fine, so delicious. Chocolate mocha caramel complexion. Just make my heart melt, baby. Just by looking at your fine ass. barbecue wings, he's a baby. Is that white chocolate that I see? It doesn't matter to me. Is that white chocolate that I see? It doesn't matter to me. Is that white chocolate that I see? It doesn't matter to me. Is that white chocolate that I see? It doesn't matter to me. Is that white chocolate that I see? It doesn't matter to me. Is that white chocolate that I see? It doesn't matter to me. Is that white chocolate that I see? It doesn't matter to me. Is that white chocolate that I see? It doesn't matter to me. Is that white chocolate that I see? It doesn't matter to me. Is that white chocolate that I see? It doesn't matter to me.
You just watched your mom's house. Did you like it? Then watch another one. Watch our clips. I don't know. Check it out. Try it out. If you didn't like it, look for other stuff. Maybe in the next video, there's people getting hurt the way you like, or maybe gay dudes talking about dick stuff. I don't know. Try it out. Maybe, dude, there's always something for everybody. Just look in these cubes, squares, whatever.